Last fall, I got my hands on this frame that used to hold an outdoor hot tub and was supposed to be thrown away, as well as some leftover decking boards. And, well, I can make something with that, right? So I decided to use it to create a restful spot in my otherwise very busy and labor-intensive garden. It was not very large though, which was good in the sense that it just barely fit under the big portal into the kitchen garden, but I wouldn't be able to fit the number of chairs I wanted without risking someone falling off the deck. So I made a built-in bench to extend the deck. I did that by placing the frame on the level ground and then building the bench on the uneven ground and connecting the two. The bench is very deep. That is on purpose, and it's because I wanted it to be a place where you could go and take a nap. And that might be wishful thinking with two very active small kids in the house. The boards were almost enough to cover the entire frame. I just had to buy a few. There were also leftover beams from that same build, and I have only bought the material needed for the trellis around it. Now, I could have stopped there and had a really nice deck with some privacy, but I really wanted to create something green and cozy. So I built sort of like a wraparound planter box. Now, there would be a lot easier ways to build this one than the way I did it. It felt logical at the time because of the uneven ground, but no, I was totally wrong. So you don't need to comment on how nuts it is to build the back of the box after the front, I'm well aware. I blame the high temperatures and constant toddler support in this project. I started this build on December 1st, 2024, and I planted peas and beans in the planter box on June 3rd this year. The peas got eaten by birds, but the beans survived, and now it's 2.5 months later, and well, we need to fix a couple of things, right? First things first, we need to fix these two boards. The stone beneath sticks out a bit, so I couldn't get them flush. When I made this table, I didn't consider which side I had up, so now it looks kind of like a roller coaster. So I need to remove them and turn them around and paint the other side instead. Now, I realized halfway through that I actually have a leftover table as well. So I gave up on turning the tabletop for now, and it actually turned out better with a smaller table. I'll probably use the larger one once I've actually turned the boards to store plants. As you can see, the sunshade is not in the best condition. I kept having issues with it because it's actually a bit too large. So I have ordered one in a better size. What's really left to do here is just to add the new sunshade once it arrives, as well as figuring out the space beneath the bench. It would be nice if it could be used, but right now I think I'm actually leaning towards closing up the space. I haven't added up the cost of this build, but since I only had to buy screws, the trellis and wraparound planter box material, it didn't end up being very much. Even the furniture was free. So now by mid-end of August, I'm picking beans daily from the trellis, and I now have a cozy, calm space to rest. So now I just need to become a person who rests. As always, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to see more weird projects, please do subscribe and start the notifications. I'll be so happy to have you, and have a great weekend.